The combat simulation chamber hummed with the characteristic whine of gravity stabilizers, maintaining a perfect 1.2G environment, standard across the Kepler colonies. Jennifer stood at the edge of the training mat, her Earth-issue boots looking absurdly primitive against the photoreactive floor. Around her, 23 colonial-born cadets whispered and smirked, their neural link combat implants glowing faintly beneath their temples. An Earther, someone muttered. In advanced tactics. Jennifer's jaw tightened. She'd heard it all during her first month at the Kepler 1-86F Military Academy. Too slow, too weak, too primitive. Earth's gravity well had made her bones dense, but her reflexes, according to the colonials, were glacial compared to those enhanced by generations of low-gravity evolution and cybernetic augmentation. Alex Chen, sitting in the second row, leaned forward. Unlike the others, he didn't laugh. He'd seen Jennifer's test scores, purely theoretical, sure, but brilliant. She understood force vectors, momentum conservation, and kinetic energy transfer at a level that suggested real experience, not just simulation hours. Instructor Kovac strode into the chamber, his carbon fiber exoskeleton clicking softly with each step. The implants along his spine glowed blue, military-grade combat AI, running probability calculations faster than any unaugmented mind could follow. Today's exercise is simple, Kovac announced, his voice amplified through the room's acoustic system. Hand-to-hand combat against superior opponents. Your enemy won't always meet you in fair conditions. Sometimes your weapons will fail. Your augmentations will be jammed. Your neural link will be severed. He paused, his eyes scanning the room before settling on Jennifer. And sometimes, you'll be stuck with whatever primitive tools you can find. The class laughed. Jennifer's hands curled into fists. Carter, you're up first, Kovac said, pointing to a heavily augmented cadet whose arm muscles rippled with subcutaneous servo motors. Let's see what Earth's finest can do. Jennifer stepped onto the mat. The photoreactive surface immediately began analyzing her movements, feeding data to Kovac's HUD. She could see him studying the readouts, his expression unreadable. No weapons, Kovac continued, but to make it interesting... He gestured, and a maintenance drone descended from the ceiling, depositing a broken training chair in the center of the mat. One leg had snapped off clean, a meter-long piece of titanium alloy jagged at one end. Improvise. More laughter. Carter activated his augmentations, his pupils dilating as combat algorithms flooded his visual cortex. He moved like liquid, his enhanced muscles allowing him to shift from stance to stance without telegraphing his intentions. Jennifer walked to the chair. She didn't pick up the leg immediately. Instead, she crouched, examining it from multiple angles. Her fingers traced the break point, testing the metal's integrity with practiced precision. Stalling won't help you, Earther, Carter called out. Jennifer stood, the chair leg in her right hand. She held it loosely, almost carelessly, the jagged end pointing downward. Carter struck first. A neural link-guided combination that would have incapacitated most opponents in 1.3 seconds, according to his combat AI. He closed the distance with augmented speed, his fist arcing toward Jennifer's temple. She wasn't there. Jennifer had shifted her weight backward just enough, her dense earth-born bones and muscles allowing her to decelerate faster than Carter's AI predicted. The fist passed millimeters from her face, and in that instant, she moved. The chair leg swung upward in a tight arc, not toward Carter, but toward the floor. The jagged end caught against the photoreactive surface with precisely calculated force. The impact created a fulcrum. Jennifer used her momentum and earth-trained mass to lever the rod upward, the smooth end connecting with Carter's extended elbow. The crack was audible. Not bone, the servo motors shorting out, sparking as the kinetic energy transferred through the metal overloaded their circuits. Carter's arm went limp, his combat AI flooding his system with error messages. Jennifer didn't stop. She pivoted, using the chair leg as a measuring stick to maintain exact distance. Carter lunged with his other arm, but she'd already calculated his range. She stepped inside his guard, too close for his augmented reflexes to compensate, and drove her shoulder into his solar plexus. Basic physics. Mass times acceleration. Earth gravity had made her dense. Kepler's 1.2 g was nothing. Carter hit the mat hard, gasping. The chamber fell silent. 47 seconds, Kovacs said quietly, checking his chronometer. Carter, your augmentations made you predictable. The AI calculated optimal attacks, but it couldn't account for an opponent who understands the fundamental mechanics. He turned to Jennifer. Explain. Jennifer straightened, still holding the chair leg. His servo motors are designed for consistent output in 1.2 g. When I struck the elbow joint, I transferred kinetic energy at an angle the motors aren't reinforced for. They're optimized for direct force, not rotational torque. The short circuit was inevitable. And the second strike? He's been training in this gravity his whole life. His bone density is approximately 40% lower than mine. When I moved inside his guard, his combat AI couldn't adjust. It's programmed for opponents with similar mass distribution. I used my center of gravity against his. Alex was grinning now. Around him, the other cadets had stopped laughing. Kovacs nodded slowly. Earth skills, he said, and this time there was no mockery in his voice. We spend so much time augmenting ourselves, we forget the fundamentals. Newton's laws don't care about your implants. He looked at the class. Who wants to go next? No one volunteered. Jennifer set the chair leg down carefully and walked back to her position. As she passed Alex, he caught her eye and nodded. She allowed herself a small smile. Later, in the mess hall, Alex sat down across from her. That was incredible, he said. Where did you learn to calculate force distribution like that? Jennifer shrugged. Earth. When you can't afford augmentations, you learn to use what you have. Physics doesn't change just because you're poor. Well, Alex said, raising his drink. Welcome to Kepler. I think you just taught the entire combat program a lesson. Jennifer clinked her cup against his. Someone had to. Outside, through the mess hall's viewport, Kepler 186F's red dwarf sun was setting, casting long shadows across the colony domes. Tomorrow, there would be more classes, more challenges, more cadets who thought Earth made her weak. Jennifer wasn't worried. She had physics on her side, and physics always won.